I've obviously had a lot more life experience than Harnaaz has. She's still really young, and I've had a good 22 years, a head start from her.
I think social media can be different from everyone else. For me, it's giving me a thick skin. For me, whoever says something bad to me, I know what I have to do. Ignore. Hi, this is Harnaaz Sandhu.
And you're watching us on
Mirchi Plus. Okay.
Hi, this is Amina Sheikh here, and with me today I have two gorgeous ladies, welcoming both of them on Mirchi Plus. Both have been a part of the beauty pageantry world for such a long time. You started your journey, but she started since such a long time. So Lara, if you had to recollect your journey in a very small word, how would that be?
It's been a fabulous journey, Amina. I mean, I can sit here today and confidently say, I promise you it's worth it. But I'm sure Harnaaz right now, with everything that she's going through, the amount of immense responsibility on her young shoulders, has many days when she's struggling through it as well. But we were just talking while the camera wasn't running about what an incredible opportunity this is. And I wish a lot more young women, would have the opportunity of living in a city like New York, being exposed to the kind of circumstances and people that you're exposed to when you win something like Miss Universe. It's just the best experience ever. And 22 years later, it's a little bit of it that you carry inside you for life. You never stop being. You can't ever take away the fact for me that I was the Miss Universe of the millennium. So.
Lara, as we talk about your journey for that matter, you have been a contestant and now you're also a judge. So, the roles, it's a reversal role for you.
Yes.
What do you look into the girls out there when they bring out their talent out there?
I think more than judging them, I've always enjoyed the role of being a mentor. And I think it's important for me, and what I've tried to impart to the girls, especially with when I've been mentoring the girls at Miss Diva, is and I've said this multiple times, that we're not looking for cookie cutter shapes, of women who are aping previous winners. They were winners in their own time. The world has moved forward. It's a different time that we're living in right now. We're looking at finding young women that are comfortable in their own skin, that have an individual thought process, that are not scared of voicing that need not necessarily toe the line and, say the right things all the time that people want to hear them say. So you're looking at women that are strong enough to have an opinion that might differ from a majority of people normally. And just be able to take on that mantle and kind of leave that legacy for young ladies that come after them as well. So I think more than judging a girl as to what is she sort of like, I think it's about empowering a woman to be able to think independently for herself, to be able to enjoy her individuality, to be able to celebrate herself.
True.
And I think that's the role that I've enjoyed the most.
Harnaaz, we heard you loud, when you won the Miss Universe crown. Chak de fatte was your word, your victory word, I must say. If you had to recollect and relish one of those moments, throughout your journey, what would that be?
Actually, I call it our victory, to be very honest. Yes, it's like you as an individual go there and represent yourself, but more than that, when the winner is announced, they call India, they don't call by your name. And through the whole process, there's so many things that I've learned. I've realized that this is what I can actually do, and this is what exactly I don't want to do. And you meet people and you learn, you realize that they are open books, and you need to just listen to them and just add it up into your knowledge and just enjoy and just be yourself. As Lara Dutta was also saying, that just don't run away from the fact that you are just 21. I think we need to make people understand that Miss Universe is not about being perfect. Miss Universe is not about that you need to look 24/7 perfect, you need to wear heels, you need to be glammed up. No, it's just being you, and whoever you are, just feel comfortable and represent yourself. So I got the honor to represent my beautiful country, but at the same time, I got the opportunity to also meet beauties from all around the world and learn from their cultures, learn from their communities and the backgrounds. And we all came together with one mission to empower women all around the world. And I think that's beautiful. So it's like whoever won that night, of course, she brings pride to her country, but more than that, she will bring that, she will make that one difference and break so many stigmas during her reign at the same time.
Though the journeys for both of you have been completely different, I must say. You had your own journey, you had your own journey for that matter. But at the same time, the struggle somewhere does come to some common point where Miss Universe are portrayed in a certain manner. If even, Harnaaz, you have faced that, backlash also, and even you have, for your kind of craft you have done so far. There is something where people keep on judging or, speculating, oh my God, no, how she's like this. And you've spoken about this, many a times, even, actresses for that matter, once they cross 35 and from 35 to 55, they are judged more often for the kind of appearance they have. And you have faced backlash on social media for that matter. How you both actually, somewhere try to have that courage to deal with such, social media stigma somewhere?
So I've obviously had a lot more life experience than Harnaaz has. She's still really young, and I've had a good 22 years, a head start from her. But to be honest, I just feel, at some point of time, you get to an age in life where you get so comfortable in your own skin. And things that used to bother you when you were much younger, people's opinions, people are going to have an opinion regardless of what you do or who you are. I can guarantee you that I don't think you in your personal life get any less commented on than what we face, in our lives. So yes, we're public figures, and therefore we may have larger social media sort of followers and following, and therefore we have a larger amount of people weighing in on our choices, on what we look like. But I think, you get to a stage in your life where you get so comfortable in your own skin, you know your own truth, you know who you are. And nobody knows that better than yourself. You know what you stand for, you know the things that are priorities to you. And it doesn't matter what anybody else sort of thinks, and then you also get to a stage where you realize that people in their own lives are going through so much. They have so many of their own struggles, so many of their own challenges, that they're spending, maybe 10 seconds of their time thinking about your life. And passing a comment, and then they've got to go back to dealing with their own challenges and the stuff that they've got going back in their own lives.
True.
So somebody spends 10 seconds of their time on you, and you end up spending a day of your time completely focused on this one comment that somebody made in some random moment, and you never cross their mind again for the second time.
Right.
So I think you need to have perspective in life. You need to understand that I'm very glad that I crossed that person's mind, which means I'm not out of sight and out of mind. I think that all kinds of crossing is good, especially in the business that we're in.
Right.
What do you have to say, Harnaaz?
Yeah, I truly agree with her, the way she has put words and described that sometimes when somebody says bad about you, it's not about you, it's about them.
True.
They think bad about themselves. That's why they try to pull you down and make you realize that this is wrong. But nobody knows better than you yourself. I think social media can be different for everyone else. For me, it's giving me a thick skin. For me, whoever says something bad to me, I know what I have to do. Ignore. Or if it's that bad, I reply them in a beautiful way. It's not about hating someone who hates you. It's about spreading love. That's the difference. If their words matters, then your words matters too. It depends upon you that you have to choose your words wisely and make sure that you do what you want to do, and don't let people describe your personality. So that's the mission that I go through, and I look up to other people, how they are handling it. So if they can do it, I can do it too. And if I can do it, then the people who are looking up to me, they can also believe that they can do it too.
Lara, you were being asked this question when you were, during the pageant that time, that, the disrespect was happening in the pageantry world, and if you had to defend them, how would you do that even now?
Well, I've lived it. I lived it from the day after I was crowned. I went on to be a Goodwill Ambassador with the United Nations for 14 years. I worked on women's rights, I worked on women's empowerment, I worked on gender issues, I worked on gender equality, on women's reproductive rights issues, So there's just so much more. You change that perspective by walking the talk. You change that perspective by being that person that they don't see when you're up there in a red gown competing, for a crown. And life goes on beyond that one night. It's not just about that one night. It's not just about that country being called out and a crown being placed on a young lady's head. Life moves on from there. You have an entire year, tremendous amount of responsibilities, wonderful opportunities. And I think people need to kind of focus on that a little bit rather than just that one pageant. I know the pageant is a huge televised event. I know that's where, the glamour is and where the big bucks are and all of that. But yeah, a woman's life completely changes. One young lady's life completely changes for life from that night onwards.
And as you are being asked about, one advice you like to give to the women out there who are dealing with a lot of pressure in today's life.
Right.
If you had to carry that forward, even now, if you see, women are actually, they're excelling in a lot of things, in the field of, media or Bollywood or entertainment or doctorate or anything for that matter. But at the same time, somewhere they're not as applauded, everywhere as much as, a male, would be. That is what even I have seen that for that matter. What do you have to say about that? What do you feel that, why women often, are somewhere, treated as weaker section for that matter? Though they are the strongest out of all.
They are truly, like, the woman of my life is my mom, who's a gynecologist, and she broke the patriarchy system in my community, and she truly inspired me and empowered me to do something independently and believe and just conquer the whole universe. So I think it's that we need to support each other, women supporting each other, and we can see how they incredibly break so many stigmas. And if you know about my advocacy is about menstrual equity, and that's how I learned about it when I was young enough, and I realized that I'm privileged that I have a mom who's my best friend and a gynecologist. So I had that opportunity to ask questions and to bypass and just feel comfortable. But when I traveled around the world, I realized there's so many countries or so many parts of the world itself where women have to choose between food and feminine products. And that's what I believe, that if being a woman, you are enough privileged that you have went through great things in your life, it's your duty and responsibility to look forward to the other part of the world, to other part of the women who are not given that opportunity or are not appreciated in that community. You need to support them. You need to make them feel comfortable. And we can see how women leaders, we can see how incredibly they have done things. So we need not to wait for someone to applaud for us. We need to applaud and have just that pat on our back and just realize we did it. You want to believe it or not, but that's the reality. We are stronger, and there's no competition. It's not about competing with anyone. It's just about just making them realize that if you can do it, I can do it too, and I just did it. So that's the reality.
And as we speak about the loopholes, there is also the brighter side to see that, women now who are married and who are having child could be a part of the Miss Universe. How does that make both of you feel?
Well, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a natural evolution, to something. Even the pageant world is evolving from what the stereotypical pageant was always supposed to be about. And I think women are playing different roles already in society, So I think it was just a matter of time before pageantry as well evolved and adapted to that world. So I think it's a step in the right direction. Of course, that said, I would be very interesting to see the way that this would play out, for women going forward, how this would be able to allow, especially women that are married or women that have young children, to be able to enjoy the same kind of opportunities that we have had as Miss Universes. So I think the organization will do everything in their power to sort of create that environment for these women. So I, for one, am very interested to see how this new rule will play out.
And lastly, 17 years of No Mentry Mentry. You recently celebrated it on social media. Will we get to see you in the sequel too? Or should I reserve my questions?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say anything about the sequel. What sequel?
Oh, really? Because Salman recently confirmed about it. So
did he?
Yeah.
You'll have to ask him.
And before I let you go, you are already making people watch the video of Kal Ho Na Ho, the rendition of it in a way. So when will we get to see you in the world of entertainment now?
I'm really caught up in my duties and responsibilities, and there's several more months, and then I am really excited for the next chapter of my life. And you know that I am an actor by profession already, and I'm a theatre artist from the last 5 years, so that has always been my passion. But I really look forward for the right project and look forward for the right team and everything. So for that, stay tuned.
Thank you so much for your lovely time and all the very best for your upcoming projects.